fluctuation, fictitious assets, all to the capital account. And one more thing, there is an existing goodwill also. So you can see here, any existing goodwill on the date of change in profit sharing ratio will be written off in old ratio between partners. Partners capital account debit to goodwill account. Yes.
Yes,
So
sir.
I think that you forget the concept. Okay. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. I confused everything.
Okay, no problem. It happens sometime, but actually you have to remember this concept. Okay, actually don't remember it. If you practice more and more portion, then you automatically remember this. Okay, you don't have to memorize it. Okay, so if you practice more portion on these topics, then you will easily remember.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so these are your here it is. Yes. So this is your balance sheet, which is not correct. So you have to remove advertisement suspense in revised balance sheet. You have to remove the existing goodwill from revised balance sheet. You have to remove general reserve and workman compensation reserve. Now you have to, you don't have to write workman compensation reserve balance of 4,000. You have to write the claim amount because that is your liability. Okay. Now we have a reserve of 10,000, and in this 10,000 we paid 6,000 to. Sorry, we didn't pay it. We have to pay this 6,000 to workmen. Okay, so this is our liability. The balance 4,000 will be transferred to capital.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so got 11 marks, which is not good. You have to practice more and you have to put some more effort to get good marks. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Your practical part was not good. And Vanisha, theoretical part is not good. His practical is good. Okay, so let's start our today's class. Okay, so what we are discussing in previous class?
So debt to equity ratio.
Yes, debt to equity ratio. And I have given you some question that you sent me on WhatsApp.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Do you have any doubt in those questions or any problem while solving those questions? Yes.
No, sir, I didn't have.
Okay. So the question was easy to solve.
Yes, sir, I solved them all.
Okay. Actually, I was checking your examination paper. So I didn't do it, the checking of your homework. So, okay, debt equity ratio. We have completed this. The next ratio is, actually there is 5 ratio. Up to previous year, there is only 4. Debt equity ratio, total asset to debt ratio, proprietary ratio, and interest coverage ratio. Debt to capital employed ratio is included in current year. Okay, so now there is 5 solvency ratio. The second is total asset to debt ratio. Now, what does it mean? Actually, the second and third we will understand together. Okay, so that it will be easy for us understand the concept. Actually, you will able to solve the question easily. Okay. So total assets to debt ratio. What do you mean? What do you understand by total assets?
So current assets and non-current assets.
Okay, so current assets and non-current assets. Is fictitious assets included in this?
No, sir. Fictitious assets and non-trade assets are not included.
Okay, you are seeing the screen. You
No, sir.
remember the concept.
Yes, I remember.
Okay, actually it is written here also. Total asset does not include fictitious assets and non-trade investment. Okay. So what we have to understand is why we are comparing our total asset with debt. Total assets to debt ratio. Why we are comparing these two? Can you tell me? If you are not sure, think about it. Why we are comparing our total assets with our debt? Don't know?
So I don't know.
Okay. So actually total assets, let's say we have a total assets of 5 lakh. Okay. Total assets of 5 lakh. First of all, see this. Okay. You can see total asset to debt ratio formula is total assets divided by long-term debt. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the proprietary ratio, yes. This is, so total asset is 5 lakh and our long-term debt is 2 lakh. 2 lakh. Okay. And I told you that total asset to debt ratio is part of solvency ratio, means it tells us that a firm will be able to pay its long-term debt or not. So if we have a total assets of 5 lakh and we have taken a loan of 2 lakh for long-term purpose. Okay. Now the lender of money will be relaxed because they know that we have an asset of 5 lakh, means their capital, their money is safe with us. Okay. If we default in payment, then they can claim it by selling our assets. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
They can easily realize, because if we will default, they will go to court and court will say that sell all the assets of the company and pay your liability. Okay. So in that case, we have to sell our assets. So if we sell our assets of rupees 5 lakh, let's say the assets were sold at some discount. Let's say the total assets was sold for only 4 lakh. Okay. In that case also, the 2 lakh liability can be paid easily. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So by calculating this ratio, we want to know that our capital is safe or not. So it will calculate like this: 5 lakh divided by 2 lakh, and you will get 2.5:1. Okay. In the same manner, if you calculate proprietary ratio, the formula is shareholders fund divided by total asset. It means, let's say our shareholder fund is 3 lakh because no, shareholder fund is 2 lakh. Okay. And total asset is 5 lakh. So what we will get? 0.4:1, or you can say 40%. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now it means that in our total assets, there is a contribution of 40% from shareholders. Means our total assets is 40% from shareholders and 60% from the other liabilities, long term or short term, whatever. So 60% is from liability and 40% from our shareholders, from our capital. So it tells us this. So first of all, we want to know that total assets, where it comes from, how we invested money in our total assets. So 40% from shareholders and the balance 60% from liability. Okay, so this is ideal ratio, not ideal, but it is good. Okay, it is not bad because we have invested 40% of our capital into total assets. Okay, so this is how we want to know that a firm will be able to pay its liability or not in the given time. Okay, so that's why we calculate total asset to debt ratio and proprietary ratio. Now, if you see the definition here, total asset to debt ratio shows the relationship between total assets and long-term debt. It measures the safety margin available to lenders of long-term debt. I told you that they want to know that they are safe or not. If there is some extra assets in the company for payment of our liabilities is available or not. Okay, so this is your total asset to debt ratio. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, the second is proprietary ratio. You can see here, it shows the relationship between proprietary fund and the total assets. The objective of, actually, Vanisha is absent. She is your friend. Yes, you
Yes, sir.
talked with her.
Yes, sir, I do.
So why she is absent?
Sir, she had to go to church. That's why.
Okay. Okay. So the objective of proprietary ratio is to measure the proportion of total assets financed by proprietors or shareholders fund. So how many of the total assets is invested from shareholders fund. So proprietary ratio formula is shareholders fund divided by total assets. Now, yes. We have to solve some question. Let me see if I have the question of this. Okay, so I'm sharing the question with you. Okay, you can see the question here. Yes.
Yes, sir.
No. Okay, see the question number 8A. Calculate total asset to debt ratio from the following information. Equity share capital is given, it is 4 lakh. Long-term borrowing, 1,80,000. And surplus in balance in a statement of profit and loss. 1 lakh general reserve 70,000, current liabilities 30,000, and long-term provision 1 lakh 20,000. Now, can you tell me what is the total assets amount here? Tika?
So 1 minute. So is it 7 lakhs?
7 lakh. Okay. So long-term borrowing is given, long-term provision is given. It is 3 lakh, equity share capital is 4 lakhs, so totally 7 lakh. And why you leave the statement of profit and loss and general reserve and current liabilities?
So because I added equity plus life. Oh yes, sir. I forgot.
Total assets equals to equity plus liabilities, means capital plus liabilities. So in case of company, equity means shareholders fund. And in shareholders fund, there is share capital and plus reserve and surplus.
Yes, sir.
So general reserve will be included, profit and loss balance will be included, and current liability is also a part of liability, so it will also be added. Okay, so the total asset will be
Okay, sir.
9 lakh. It will be 9 lakh. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now, long-term debt, amount of long-term debt.
So 3 lakhs.
3 lakh. Very good. 3 lakh. So the solvency ratio will be, sorry, the total asset to debt ratio will be
3:1.
3:1. Very good. I'm sharing another portion. Actually, it is very small one. You can see the question number 59.
Yes, sir.
Read the question here. From the following information, calculate proprietary ratio. Actually, both portion are almost same. So proprietary ratio is, we have to calculate proprietary ratio, debt to equity ratio, and total asset to debt ratio. The information is given: current assets 80 lakh, long-term borrowing 30 lakh, non-current assets 80 lakh, current liabilities 40 lakh, and long-term provisions 50 lakh. It is also similar question, not very much problematic. Okay, so question number 59. Actually, we have to solve at least 1 or 2 question so that you can solve more questions. So the total assets here is 1,60,000. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So in this question, total assets will be non-current plus current. As you told me, total current assets plus non-current assets. So it is 80 lakh and 80 lakh. 1,60,000. Now, long-term debt equals to long-term borrowing plus long-term provisions. Long-term borrowings plus long-term provisions.
So,
Long-term
will
provision is,
so the
yes,
total assets will be 16 lakhs, right?
16 lakh.
So
It is
this
8 lakh.
18, so no, sir. 80 lakh plus 80 lakh.
1,60,000.
No, sir, sorry. It will be 1 crore 60,000. 60 lakh.
Yes, one more zero. Okay. So 1 crore 60 lakh. Let's change it. One crore 60 lakh. Actually, generally, figure does not go in crores. That's why I always write in lakhs. That's why this mistake. Okay, so long-term debt, long-term borrowing plus long-term provision. So if we see the amount here, it is 50 lakh plus 30 lakh. Total 30 lakh plus 50 lakh. Total is 80 lakh. Now total asset to debt ratio will be 1 crore 60 lakh divided by 80 lakh. So it will be 2:1. Now, what will be debt equity ratio? For debt equity ratio, we need shareholders fund and long-term debt. Long-term debt we know, and the formula is long-term debt divided by shareholders fund or equity. Shareholders fund. Long-term debt is 80 lakh and shareholders fund is how much? Shareholders fund amount.
So 40 lakhs.
40 lakhs. Yes, it is total assets minus non-current liabilities and current liabilities. So total long-term liabilities is 80 lakh and current liabilities 40 lakh. So yes, our shareholders fund is 40 lakh divided by 40 lakh. Actually, we have to calculate shareholders fund ratio. It is 2:1. Now we have to calculate proprietary ratio also. Shareholders fund equals to total assets minus total liabilities. Total assets minus total liabilities. Total assets is 1 crore 60 lakh and total liabilities is 1 crore 20 lakh. So it is 40 lakh. Now, proprietary ratio. Is shareholders fund. Actually, this ratio is calculated in percentage. This is only ratio which is calculated in percentage. Shareholders fund divided by total assets. In solvency ratio, all other ratio are calculated in ratio form. Okay, but proprietary ratio is calculated in percentage form. 40 lakh divided by 1 crore 60 lakh. Okay, you can also write in 200. So the answer will be 0.25 is to 1 or 25%. The correct answer is 25%. Okay, because it is presented in percentage form. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now there is one more concept of interest coverage ratio. Okay, I will explain the concept to you. Okay, and the theory part we'll discuss in our next class. Now, what do you know about profit before interest and tax and profit after tax?
So profit before interest and taxes, the profit uh, before paying tax and interest,
Okay,
and profit after is after deducting the interest and tax provided.
okay. So generally in these type of question, you will be given profit after tax. Okay, profit after tax. Now, if I see to you, the profit after tax is 4 lakh. Okay, and tax rate is 20%. Profit before tax will be profit before tax will be wait 1 minute. Okay, you got the answer.
So is it 80,000?
No, profit before tax. You are calculating tax only. This is
So
your profit after
yes, sir.
tax. Okay.
3,20,000.
Okay, you have calculated 80,000 and then deducted it. Yes.
Yes, sir.
First of all, your calculation is incorrect. And then you don't have to deduct it. Okay. Because profit before tax means it is before deducting tax. So this amount should be
Yes, sir.
higher than this amount. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. So we should add it.
There was a pause. Okay, so we have to add it first of all. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So is this clear or you are confused?
No, sir, it's clear now.
Good. So profit after tax means that amount will be lower than profit before tax, because profit after tax is after deducting tax and profit before tax is before deducting tax. So the tax amount will be added. So by your calculation, it should be 4,80,000, but this is also not a correct answer. What do you think? Why this is not a correct answer?
Because like tax rate calculation as well.
Yes, tax rate. This 20% will be calculated on profit before tax amount, not 4,80,000. It will be calculated on profit before tax amount, not on profit after tax. Yes.
Yes, sir.
So once you calculate profit, if you have prepared the profit and loss statement, once you prepare profit and loss account, and in that you get net profit of 1 lakh, and you have to deduct tax at the rate 10%. So you calculate on this profit, that is profit before tax, it will be 10,000, and your profit after tax will be 90,000. Now, if you calculate this 10% on this amount, then the answer will be incorrect. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So now, can you calculate this tax 20%?
Sir, I'll try.
Or should I do it?
Sir, can you do it?
Yes. Okay. So let's say this amount is 90,000. Okay. And this is 10%. Now, profit after tax, if you have to calculate profit before tax, then you have to calculate profit on this amount, or sorry, tax on this amount. That is 90,000 into 10% divided by 100 minus 10. This is your formula. Okay, you have to use this formula because this is after deducting 10%. So we assume that profit before tax is 100%, and if we deduct 10%, it will become 90%. So this is equal to 90%. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Now 90,000 into 10 divided by 90. So you will get 10,000. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So this is your tax. Now you will add this tax to your profit after tax. You will get your profit before tax. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
If you are confused, you can tell me to repeat. I will repeat the whole solution.
No, sir, I got it.
Okay. So if you got it, tell me the profit before tax here. This is your tax rate, 20%, and this is your profit after tax. You need the formula.
So I'm doing it.
Oh.
So my answer is getting wrong because I'm getting 4 lakh again.
Okay, no problem. So actually the formula is, I told you that you have to write first of all your profit after tax, then multiply it with the rate of tax, that is 20%, and divide it by 100 minus rate of tax, 20. 4 lakh into 20 divided by 80. It is 1 lakh. Your tax is 1 lakh. After adding this, you will get 5 lakh. Yes.
Yes, sir.
So 20% of 5 lakh is 1 lakh.
So then in the example you showed, why did you take 90,000 instead of 1 lakh?
Yes. Actually, I have taken this profit after tax here. This was your profit before tax.
Okay.
Okay. So if you want to calculate by profit after tax, so your formula will be tax equals to profit after tax multiplied by tax rate divided by 100 minus tax rate. 100 minus tax rate is because this profit after tax is after deducting tax. That's why we assume that profit before tax is 100%. So we are deducting our tax rate from that, which will be equal to our profit after tax. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So this is your Actually, interest coverage ratio, I told you that we will discuss in our next class. I will send you the assignment for these three ratio, debt equity ratio. Actually, debt equity ratio is covered, but in some of the portion, it will be together with proprietary ratio and total asset to debt ratio. That's why debt equity ratio, total asset to debt ratio, and proprietary ratio. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. If you have any doubt, you can ask questions.
No doubt, sir.
Okay, then that's